Louie French.
Thank you. Thank you, Sir Edward. It's always a pleasure to serve under your chairmanship. And can I start by thanking my honourable friend for West Southwark for securing this debate. And I would also like to congratulate him on being elected as one of the new co-chairs of the Racing and Bloodstock All-Party Group, alongside my honourable friend for Liverpool Walton, representing the fantastic Aintree Racecourse, which we all know is home of the Grand National. And for his information, my last winner was Silver Birch a long time ago. I can't tell you who comes second or third. Yeah, there you go. I do look forward to working together to help protect the future of British horse racing as a cultural and economic asset for the whole country. Having visited my honourable friend's constituency not too long ago, home to the famous Newmarket Racecourse and many world-class yards, as we've heard already, I know this is certainly the case there. And I can confirm that he is quickly becoming the Member of Parliament for not only West Suffolk, but also for horse racing, a title that I know that many will be jealous of today, including myself. Mr. Chairman, putting aside the cultural and sporting importance of horse racing for a moment, the horse racing industry has a considerable economic benefit to the United Kingdom. As we've heard from contributions already today, we've seen this from Ascot, Kempton Park, Ludlow, Aintree, Epsom, Wolverhampton, Newmarket, Fakenham, Newcastle, Doncaster, Newbury, Windsor and Cheltenham. And if I've missed anyone, I apologise, but it just shows the breadth of the contribution across our great country. And according to the British Horse Racing Authority, the racing industry has direct revenues, as we've heard, in excess of £1.47 billion and make a total contribution to the UK economy of £4.1 billion. In fact, it was the second largest sport behind only football in respect of attendance, employment and revenues generated annually. More than 5.5 million people attended more than the 1,500 individual race meetings across England, Scotland and Wales in 2019. And whilst attendance has not quite recovered from the pandemic, in 2022 almost 5 million people attended racing events across our great country. I think the value of the industry in pure economic terms is clear. However, the industry contributes so much more to life in Britain than just tax revenues. It is a core part of British culture, which we have successfully exported around the world. And I have had the pleasure of witnessing firsthand on my travels in years gone by some of these amazing horse racing courses that have appeared in other parts of the world. And I would like to add that I did pay for that myself before I was a member in this place. Horse racing is synonymous with a flutter, and the gambling industry is a key supporter of horse racing, providing the lifeline of racing's income streams. And together, both are key to the non-financial benefits that I have just mentioned. Mr. Chairman, research shows that 82% of betting shop customers visit their local shop at least once a week. And of those, 89% then go on to visit other shops whilst on the high street. At a time when we have a clearer picture about loneliness in our society than ever before, we cannot take the social contribution of horse racing via high street betting shops and visits to the course for granted. Under the previous Conservative government, we made the first major governmental contribution to the national conversation around loneliness and the importance of social connections. And I know from my own time working for a bookmakers when I was a student that there are many people living in our communities who rely on these interactions with betting shop staff to keep them going. And while the state's gamble may not be high, I know many pensioners whose 10p lucky 15s is the highlight of their day, win or lose. Those who do visit a betting shop or a racecourse are helping to support the horse racing industry, with the horse racing betting levy, sponsorship and media rights raising around £350 million for the sport overall. However, from those conversations that I've already had as the Shadow Minister for Gambling, I know that there is an increasing tension in how the levy operates, and we've heard about that already today. I'm sure members here would already know that the horse racing betting levy results in betting firms giving up 10% of their gross profits from horse racing back to the sport. This is on top of the 15% betting duty that the Betting and Gaming Council's members pay to the Exchequer. Moreover, those members are expected to contribute a record £150 million in levy payments for the 2023-2024 year, the third consecutive year that the levy contributions have increased. Despite these increased payments from betting to racing, betting turnover is down 17% in the 3 quarters to date for this financial year. To further demonstrate the decline in racing, it is estimated in 2007 that 17% of people enjoyed betting on horse racing, but that has fallen to 10% in 2018. Mr. Chairman, this is causing great concern, as we've heard today, amongst not only racecourses, but also the Betting and Gaming Council members, and I have even heard of reports of some operators already withdrawing offers, such as paying extra places on races and best odds guaranteed. And some members have gone so far as not offering prices on horse racing meetings altogether. This is not sustainable or good for racing. The previous Conservative government was committed to the long-term success of horse racing in Britain, and in line with the statutory requirement we set out in 2017, in April this year we began the required review into the rate at which the levy is charged. Unfortunately, the work being done on this has been stopped dead in its tracks given the change in government. Since the election, there has been a new appointment to the Horse Racing Betty Levy Board, with Anne Lambert appointed interim chair, but otherwise the industry has been left in limbo by this new government. On the 29th of July, Baroness Tycross, the new part-time Minister for Gambling, said in the other place, "It's too soon for me to commit to the shape of future policy." Well, Mr Chairman, as we now enter national hunt season, the industry needs clarity and it needs it soon, as we've heard from other members today. So can the Minister tell us what support she and her department will be offering to the horse racing industry, financial or otherwise, and if she will help in the negotiations on the new level at which the horse racing Betty levy is to be set? Will she bring forward some of the reforms set out in the gambling white paper, which will help level the playing field and promote growth in the sector? What conversations has she had with government colleagues to make sure that the sport is not damaged by sky-high tax rises in the upcoming budget? What measures is she taking with industry to stop the growth of the black market and to make sure that punters can continue to have a flutter freely and safely? And what support is she offering horse racing to help grassroots development, equine research and participation in the sports? Horse racing is vital for so many reasons. Its economic contribution to the exchequer, its social and sporting contribution, and the community it provides in mostly rural areas. From raising a foal to the final furlong, horse racing is an essential part of life for people and places up and down our country, as we've heard in today's debate. The industry is not just there for sport, but it's also a vital part of maintaining and promoting horse welfare across the country. The BHA's expenditure supports horse welfare, with one of their goals being to drive high-quality care and support for the horse in racing. In total, the Horse Racing Betting Levy Board spends around £3.5 million annually on horse-related areas, such as educational research and on a number of horse welfare projects. And as we have heard already today, the Jockey Club has also made changes over the years to ensure that the safety of horses is improved at our tracks. Moreover, the BHA is responsible for the safety of horses at races in Britain and works with animal welfare organisations such as the RSPCA and World Horse Welfare to keep racecourses, as I've just said, as safe as possible for the horses, and their cross-industry horse welfare board makes recommendations including a multi-year strategy to improve wolf welfare. Earlier this year, alongside Great British Racing, the BHA launched a new campaign, Horse PWR, to promote the facts around welfare in horse racing and to challenge and correct inaccurate information out there in the public. As the first of the Horse Welfare Board's 5-year strategy comes to a close in the new year, I hope to work with the BHA as it begins work on its next 5-year strategy. And for anyone listening today who has not had the opportunity to visit their local yard, I would recommend highly going to their nearest stables to see the fantastic passion and work that goes on. And I would also recommend a trip to the National Stud, which really is like visiting a 5-star hotel. But make sure you take some polos to keep the horses happy if you're allowed that close to them. From end to end, the equestrian economy is valued near to £8 billion, almost half of which is not the racing industry. Horse racing, as we've heard, is much more than just a sport. It is a true British pastime that has a permanent place in the hearts of many people across the country, me included, and it must continue to be supported by this government as it was by the previous. Therefore, in finally closing, I urge the government, after a slow start, to leave the stalls, gallop into action as if you are Cato Star cruising up the Cheltenham Hill, and to give British horse racing the certainty and future it deserves to remain internationally competitive. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.